Okay. Seems like no matter how old we are, most people really aren't self-aware of themselves. It's like you haven't noticed this trend yet. And so what I mean by this is our minds have a funny way of always having a problem or always having something going on in our life, right? I don't know if you've noticed, but when has there been a time in your life where there isn't a problem, apart from childhood, right? Because your brain hasn't properly developed. It's just a bit frustrating because you see people in life and they could be older, they could be 50, 60, 70, 80. Yeah, even 80-year-olds, funny enough. And these people, which is the majority of people, and it was me in the past, so I don't have any judgment towards them. But at the same time, it's kind of mind-boggling because you've been on this planet for so long and you haven't identified the fact that there's always going to be a problem in your life, there's always going to be a stress in your life. And it's kind of a double-edged sword because that's true, but it's not actually true. Your mind creates problems, your mind creates drama, and your mind is in a constant state of looking for things to be conscious about that's causing problems, right? So even if you had the most perfect life, your mind would still find a way to find a problem. And so this is why a lot of people live in a constant state of worry, stress, anxiety, sadness, depression, because it just seems like they can't get a break. It seems like there's just always something going on, or the thing currently right now is the biggest problem in the world, which it could be a big problem, but your mind is reacting to that. And so what do? Okay, so we now understand. If you just take a moment to think back at a time where you didn't have a problem in your life, and you may have forgotten, but think of it really, like thoroughly. Every segment of your life has an event which bothered you, right? If you haven't become conscious of this. And so if you have this problem, which I'm sure the majority of people do, what do you do, right? You become conscious of it. So when you see your mind start to fire up again, you hear that voice, you feel the emotions that are correlated to these thoughts and this mindset. When this happens, you become aware of it. So you go, oh, it's firing up again, it's starting, right? The engine's starting. And so what do? You don't feed into it. You don't consciously feed into the thoughts. Because what happens with our mind for some reason, when we start to feel an emotion or when we experience something, we let that energy, we let that our mind deal with that energy. So we feel something, it feels bad. So a part of your consciousness goes, this feels bad, brain, think of something to make me feel better about this, or think about it so I can solve this problem. And so then your brain goes haywire and starts to think of all these possibilities, all these problems, all the potential issues that could unfold from, could be even a small thing. And it goes into overdrive. And our brains, unfortunately, aren't built for that. It's not a healthy way to live. It's a very draining way to live. You feel you can't enjoy life properly, and if you can get this engine to stop, these thoughts to settle down, you'll feel like you're on a constant holiday, right? You'll feel emotions you've never felt before that are really good, they're great, right? So when it starts up, you become aware, oh, it's starting up again, and you don't feed into it, and you just let it be. You let it come, you don't fight it, you don't force it back down, you just let it pass. You just become conscious, oh, here we go again. Just be aware, listen, whatever. Let it unfold, and then let it pass. And if you do this for long enough, the motor will settle. Your brain will stop thinking of these things, and every now and then, yes, it will start up again, and you just become conscious and ride the wave like you do. And you'll find over time your level of happiness, your level of peace, your level of clear thinking, you just feel so much more alive and peaceful and happy and joy, and you feel it's just so right. And so, yes, bad things are going to happen to you in life, but you have the control of whether you feed into that bad energy and make worse things worse. You make problems bigger problems. Because by feeding into that energy and constantly thinking about it without being aware and consciously thinking about it as well, both subconsciously and consciously, you're just digging your hole deeper, and you're not able to live life completely. You're not able to live. So no one wants to live in suffering like that. And if you don't break from this cycle, you will live a life of suffering, unfortunately, and a lot of people do. So please be aware of this trend that's been happening in your life, and hopefully this helps you, right? And it may take a bit of time, but just stick to it, and you'll see just things just start clicking, and your life just gets so much better. Okay, all the best. See ya.